I saw that picture of you actually the other day, and it really made me think of this, like the one of like where you're super young with Nick Best.
Which Travis
It was
Oldmeyer?
Travis Sotomayor. Travis Sotomayor. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to edit that out so Nick Best doesn't see that I called him.
One of them's gonna get upset.
That'd be the second time that I do that to him. Question. So the question is, do you remember your first ever competition, and how did it go? Did you win? How did it feel? Is that when you fall in love with the sport?
Yeah, the first competition was 2012 when I was 18 years old. Like you said, that picture, that was I was in the teen division going up against, other teenagers, some a little younger, some same my age. And, yeah, I won it, won most events, but I didn't pretty much know what I was doing. But the, first time I ever touched a log was in that competition.
Oh, wow.
Just manhandling it, not knowing what I was doing. Like I actually on one of the we were doing, it was like a little medley or whatever. We had a Viking press, a dumbbell. We had to press each one rep, and then we had to go into the log for clean once and press away. And one of the reps came down and came down behind my head. So yeah, kind of weird. Just came down and yeah.
so you caught it in a squat, and then you went it back up?
Yeah, almost I had to jump it back up in front of my head and press it again. So yeah, that was fun. But I think I got second in that event. I want to say it's very, that was a long time ago, So yeah. I think I got second in that event. But yeah, I won the whole competition, and yeah, after that, I just I think I can do World's Strongest Man one day if I train hard enough. That's what I've always told myself.
That's insane, dude. Okay, so you are continuing my streak. But every single person that I've talked to so far, so that's you, that's Luke, that's Evan, that's Mel Peacock, and Hannah Lindsay, everybody won their first show. Yeah. So that means I have to win my first show.
Yeah, you gotta win your first show.
Shit. All right. Well,
you gotta go from novice to the open immediately. I think that's that second one that you're doing, because my first show, that was January 2012, and won it, got the invite to amateur teenage nationals here in the States. So I was that's going to be a big competition. I need to do another competition in between then to get more experience. But the only one nearby was Travis Ortmeyer. He put it on. Like you said in that picture, he was there at my first competition judging and hanging out. And he's putting on a competition in between the now and team national. So all right, let's do it. But there's no team division. I'm just going to get more experience. So I had to sign up for the open at 18 years old. Going up against the more experience, some veterans and everything.
The big boys.
Yeah, the big boys. Yeah, I tied for third there.
You tied for third in your second comp against opens?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how many people? Was it a big class? Was not a lot of people?
I mean, there was a good amount. I don't remember how many people there were, but there was good amount. There wasn't just 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so I guess what would your advice be to myself or to anybody that is thinking about starting strongman, that is thinking about competing, or even just training it?
Well, just to competing and just get started, like you did, sign up for a novice if that's what it takes for you to go. If you're too nervous to just go in for an open, sign up for the novice, find a light competition to do, just to go out, have fun, and get some experience doing it. But training, you need to be consistent with your with everything. Sleep, recovery, and like going to train. If you can only train 3 days a week, go and train 3 days a week. You know.
But make sure to train hard those 3 days a week.
Yeah, exactly. Don't just go through the motions. You giving your all. Like I did start out pretty much after football in high school, American football. Like I did probably like 3 days a week training. Deadlift, overhead pressing, squats. Go max effort those days, and like slowly just add in stuff, like find things to do, like strongman stuff, carrying concrete blocks or whatever I could find. Pulling a heavy sledge. Strongman things that I could think of at the time. Since I didn't have any coaches or strongman gyms, like everything I did was by myself. Trying to figure out what I could do was on my own. But like I said, if you can only train 3 days a week, do 3 days a week consistently and as hard as you can, and you can recover from.
No, that's amazing, man. I know. I feel like you have such a unique view on the sport itself, right? For the simple fact that, like, everybody else trains at these for the most part, right? Like a lot of people train at these fancy gyms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You train in a shed behind a church that was given to you. You know what I mean?
I'm borrowing it.
And I
I'm
feel
only
like
allowed a little bit.
Sorry?
I'm only allowed a little bit, not like I'm borrowing it. Not giving.
See, and so what's next for you in terms of your gym, in terms of your training, in terms of?
Well, right now I'm working on building my own shed or whatever to make an actual gym.
Your own shed.
Just a large garage building, middle building to make an actual gym, not just borrowing it from my church. But yeah, like you said, like you don't need all the fancy equipment that go into the actual strongman gyms. You don't need you don't need training partners, this and that. It makes it easier, it makes it better training, but like if you're dedicated enough, you can do it without the same the equipment you're gonna go compete on. That's what I saw. Like that's kind of like the new mentality of strongman. Like it's cool to have like the sport nowadays is starting to have more standardized equipment. You get these big retailers, Rogue or whatever, those bullshit. But back in the day, the old school, like you go to a strongman competition, not knowing what equipment like some guy made it in his belt, his fab shop, and it's a 13-inch log. Some gas tank, farmer's handles. You go show up, and everybody doesn't know what it's gonna be at the competition. You're just going to test yourself.
Yeah, you left what's there, and that's it. There's no questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. So in terms of the Shaw Classic this year, obviously right now you're on a win streak of 2, which is very cool, by the way. Congrats on that.
Thank you, sir.
What are you gonna do this year to keep that title?
This year, I'm thinking of training with a couple of guys, going to training camps or whatever, trying to go find some guys to train with to push myself. I mostly train by myself, and that's fine and dandy, but every once in a while having someone to push you to do better is good. Not like maybe a week or 2 or whatever, training with some guys, but I always train hard. Like I have my coach; he pushes me all the time, and I make him give me something tough.
Yeah. So do you find that training, because like that must have been a really cool experience, right? When all you guys met up at in Colorado with Brian, that must have been a really cool experience to like push yourselves and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, like Brian brought me, Kevin Ferris, Bobby Thompson, and Evan Singleton to Colorado before Worlds to as a training camp just to push each other to basically to test ourselves on the events that was going to be at Worlds this year. And like it was a fun experience, good weekend of us guys hanging out. We don't normally do that a lot. Usually at competitions, we're too busy focusing on the competition to really hang out and getting to meet at Brian at his house with all talk and hang out. It was a good experience. Good bonding moment.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, that's awesome, man. So I guess I already have most of what I'm looking for. The next question for you would be like, if you had anything else that you'd like to say to the people, to the fans, to the Trey Mitchell enthusiasts on on like just your thoughts about how the sport's going or where you would like to see it go, or just anything about like your thoughts on strongman or how much you love it, etc.
Trying to make me think.
Yeah.
Like I love how the sport is growing. As a community, like a fan base is crazy now. Like we had this year at Worlds, we had like 30,000 fans show up.
Insane.
Yeah. So like the fans, they're doing great, supporting us, cheering us on. It was crazy this year at Worlds. I love the women. They're getting a lot more love. Like this year at the Arnold, like we had the women competing alongside us. It was, that was a fun experience getting to see them having. If you just focus on one, the male side, like the women aren't going to be able to grow. And now that they're actually given the same amount of prize money, the same kind of exposure to the female athletes, the sport's going to grow on the female side, and like the female fans, they're gonna start wanting to get into the sport too, and that'll help grow it. But
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Thank you.